His preparation is unmatched of probably any player I've ever been around in any football program. I think that story needs to be known.
Fifita, back to throw with some time, waits, goes to the back of the end zone, got a man open, it is caught, touchdown Arizona! And Noah Fifita has just set the school record for career touchdown passes. That was number 68 for Noah.
He had a quote in a recent article where he said, I don't want to be the guy that just stayed, I want to be the guy that won. One of the top quarterbacks in the country. I think he should be in these conversations.
There's no question he should be in those conversations. If you give me a chance to play football with Noah Fifita, I am all for it. He's also that guy that will stand there in the pocket and deliver a strike for a touchdown and take a 300-pound dude right through his soul. And he'll stand in there and take that.
You have hype to win this league and make a bunch of noise in the postseason.
The parity in the league makes it daunting because every week, if you don't show up, you get your ass whooped. It's the most unique, the most rare story, maybe.
Welcome back, or welcome to Y Option. I'm your host, Yogi Roth, and here we are underneath Arizona, the Wildcats, their stadium. It's an amazing atmosphere here with Brent Brennan, and that's what today's conversation is all about. It's with the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, and as always, every one of our conversations are fueled by our founding sponsor, 76, keeping you on the go, 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 so you never miss a beat. You're not going to want to miss this one. We talk about this team, of course, his quarterback, Noah Fifita, and a story about how Brent Brennan and his wife, Courtney, literally changed the trajectory of my family and my life. Let's get right to it. This is fun. This one's fun, Coach, because we've had a lot of combos, a lot of runs. Yep. But we've never done it here in Tucson, in person like this. Thank you for taking some time to hang out.
Oh, it's great to have you here. It's great to have you talk to the team. Our staff loves it when you come to town. You always offer such good perspective, inspiring, insightful stuff. It's been cool, man. We've known each other a long time now, so it's cool to kind of bring you into this Arizona family and give you a chance to share a little bit of your experience and your wisdom with our team.
Well, thanks for doing it. I got great regard for locker rooms and team rooms, so thank you for doing that. Okay, it's also equally been a blast to watch your path here, throwing down, and here we go. Entering year 3. I've always felt this. I felt like taking over a team in this era that's had success is so much harder than taking over a team that's not, because you got to decide, right? You're holding them together, you keep players. This is all well documented in your first 2 years here. So where we sit now, heading into year 3, like how do you feel? Like fully your program, great success last year. You have hype to win this league and make a bunch of noise in the postseason.
I think it feels like just still unfinished business. I think it feels like we still have a ways to go. Even as much fun and as rewarding as last year was after the first season being disappointing. I think everyone feels it. I don't think it's just me. I think the players, the coaching staff, everybody's really motivated. Like to be honest with you, I think everyone's still a little bit pissed off that we didn't finish it the way we wanted to. And like we're excited to attack the work every day. So from that vantage point, it feels good to be back in it.
Yeah, that's pretty unique. So the only role I have on this show is to ask questions I don't know the answers to. So as I was preparing for this, it's like, what don't I really know about your path? And what I have no idea about is how you might define the role of a coach, because you've been around coaching and football your whole life.
Yeah, I think it's changed over the years. I think it's definitely changed since I've become a head coach. I think first and foremost, I think the role of any coach is to be the best guy you can be for the people that are counting on you, whether that's your position group. Now as a head coach, it's different. It's bigger. There's more people. It's the staff. It's all the players. You're not just responsible. When I was a receiver coach, it was 15, 16 guys. It's a much smaller group, much more intimate. Like you're so close. You spend so much time with those guys, and now you're spread a little bit more thin. But I think at the end of the day, any coach is just trying to help players grow and develop into their best version on and off the field. And to me, that's where we sit with it here. I mean, that's where it's really important to me. And the role of a coach now, it gets messy, and I think if you let other people define it for you, then someone else gets to tell the story. But for us here, we just try to do a great job of, loving our players, coaching the hell out of them, trying to put them in a position where they can grow and develop, whether that's football, academically, socially, or post-grad professionally.
So as I've watched you in individual drills and meetings, from Brandon Cooks, Marcus Wheaton way back in the day, to a bunch of different stops in between, of course, and now here, I feel like one of the things that you front load is you have to have a real relationship. And I say that, okay, it sounds like, of course, Yogi, but it's such a transient, transactional era where you might get a guy for 6 months. You have 21 portal players, I think, on this roster now. Is it hard to do that, or is that the thing that comes most natural to you because you've always been about relationships from Cal Poly to here?
It feels natural to me because I think I prioritize it. I think any chance you have to really coach a young man or lead a group of young men, like there has to be trust there. And I don't think you have any real trust unless there's a real relationship there. So I think it's important that the players know my wife and, know my family and know my stories, and that I know theirs, and that we have real conversations that go off outside the football field. And so that part of it is the part I enjoy. Like I love getting to know these people. I love getting to know them in the recruiting process. Even sometimes in the portal, that recruiting process is 24 hours or 12 hours. Sometimes that moves a little bit faster. But once they get here, it's everyone's job, not just mine, to build relationships with the people that are in our building. Because when everyone comes here every day, I want them to feel great about coming to work. I want them to feel great about walking in the Lowell Stevens football building. And in order to do that, I think they have to care about the people they're with. There has to be true connection. There has to be real relationships. And so we put a huge emphasis on that in our process. I
think there's something too, and I'm not trying to psychoanalyze anybody here, but real relationships, there's a foundation to the first real one you had. I know how you've always looked at your dad. When you sit in this chair now, because you're not the 28-year-old wide receiver coach anymore.
I miss that guy.
But you're still working out. You're still getting your runs in, right? You're still moving. When you look back on that, I'm curious if you can peel it back and say, you know what? My dad's influence on me, because he was an athlete. He was in football. He got you involved in this game. Like, how do you think it actually has landed? Because I do think that's a unique part of your story.
No, absolutely. I think, my dad was that guy. He was super outgoing, super relational. I remember at his funeral, I asked 2 questions when I started out to speak. I said, who in this room did Steve Brennan ever buy a meal or ice cream? And so like all the kids, right? Like raise hands, and then I said, who in this room has Steve Brennan ever bought a beer for? And dude, 800 hands went up, you know what I mean? So like that was how he was, man. And that's what made him special. And I think that's definitely something he imparted into me and all of our siblings. I think like that's the fun part of life to us, is the relationships with people and the connection. And like, that's what's fun about building teams, because I really do feel like the more connected we are, the more committed we become. And I think that's something we're going to have a huge emphasis here at Arizona, is building really strong, connected football teams. And there's no question that my dad is a huge, or was, or is, continues to be a huge influence in how I work to try and get to know people and build connection.
You don't have to comment on the first part of this question, but I do want to say it, is that you threw down and made a choice to sign an extension here, rumored for a lot of other places, and you should be, because you're a heck of a coach. Why is this place a place that you have such a belief in? Because when I'm around your team and around you, that jumps out versus, we're having some success. Like, I know the business of college football. Like, I don't really feel that from you.
Dude, I love it here, man. I love the people. I think this is one of those unique places. It feels like a small town, but it has a population that can really support a major football program. And in this town, it's so connected to the U of A. Like, I don't know that there's any place really quite like it. There's the pro football team in the state of Arizona is 2 hours up the street. You know what I mean? And so that part of it and it's not just football that's special here, right? Like, all of our sport teams are good, right? Our men's basketball team, Coach Lloyd just went to the Final Four. Our women's softball team kicks ass. Like, our track team, our golf teams, baseball into the College World Series a year ago. It's just, I think that part of it, it's fun to be in a community where the university is such an important part of the community, and it touches every aspect of the city of Tucson, and that part of it makes it fun to be here. Like, I'm excited about being a part of that community. I'm excited about and how the U of A fits into it, or how Arizona football fits into it.
I think it was obviously compelling, went viral when you got the job. Noah and T-Mac decide they're going to throw down and stay. Maybe not as viral, but as you've said many times, Noah's had opportunities to do a lot of things. And as he's shared with you and shared with me earlier today, he wants to, quote, I want to leave a legacy here. And to your point of the community, he feels like so embraced. I'm curious, what do you observe from him coming back now as one of 5 senior quarterbacks that are returning to the place that they signed with at high school?
I think the thing there's so many things that are special about Noah Fifita, but I've never seen a player that is as high profile as him that finds a meaningful way to engage everybody he comes across. Like, he's not too cool ever. He shakes every hand. He high fives every kid. He signs every autograph. Dude, he coaches next level football here in our stadium every Sunday. And he's been coaching the same group since they were, I think, in first grade. And now they're in sixth grade. And he's never not won the championship. But when he comes to coach, first of all, he's got a call sheet. It's as big as a poster board. Right? It's like he's calling plays, like he's serious. And his brother Dash is calling the defense, and he's bringing zero pressure. It's crazy. But when he's there, or when he's at a basketball game, he has this incredible heart, and he's willing to connect with everybody. He's willing to build relationship with people. I've never seen anyone like him that is just so high profile, but also so comfortable with who he is, and so willing to put himself out there with the community.
I think there's something around him. Okay, let's look at facts. He's the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, and he was first team all Big 12 last year as a quarterback. He's got this arc to his story that will not be repeated, because let's hope that realignment doesn't happen again for anybody's sake. Maybe it will. Point is that he has a story as a player that is one that is, I don't think, known enough. I don't think people know. It's easy to be nostalgic because he's one of the returners and he stayed home, but he's a gamer too.
No question. He's such a baller. He's such a good player. His preparation is unmatched of probably any player I've ever been around in any football program. And I think I agree. That story needs to be known, because it is one of the best. And I've said this before. First of all, at the media day a year ago, I said in December, everyone in the country is going to be talking about Noah Fifita, and they were. You know what I mean? Because I knew who he was, and I knew what he was working to do, and just how he was moving through his process. But then second of all, when you think about the plays he makes and the way this city feels about him, and how loyal he is to the University of Arizona, how loyal he is to his teammates, to his coaches, to the program, you don't see that a lot nowadays. And maybe it doesn't get championed because it's not as controversial of a story, but it's an incredible story. It's the most unique, the most rare story maybe in college football right now.
I wonder if college football, we're so accustomed to the transfer and the number, the money behind it, that we lose sight of, he's the story that everybody who wants the 1990s or mid 2000s back in college football, he's that. Stay, grow, develop, undersize, bet on yourself, and then go kill it. And I'm kind of dumbfounded about that. When I ask people on the top quarterbacks in the country, it's easy to list your first four names. I think he should be in these conversations.
There's no question he should be in those conversations.
Yeah.
There's no question he should be in those conversations. Because the body of work is so impressive. You know what I mean? What about him is special?
Yeah, what about him as a player? When you break him down, and opponents have to in this league, when you go to BYU in week 2, we know we all love Kalani. You used to work with him at Oregon State. But what are teams having to defend?
Well, I think the thing that's interesting about him is that he throws with just incredible accuracy and anticipation. And, that part of it makes him special. And he also has escapability. So he's super dangerous on the run and can throw complete balls and throw accurately on the move. And I think not everybody has that skill set, or some people only have that skill set, but he's also that guy that will stand there in the pocket and deliver a strike for a touchdown and take a 300-pound, helmet just run right through his soul. And he'll stand in there and take that, you know what I mean? And, that speaks to his toughness, right? He's such a tough kid. And I think that's one of those things. There's not a team that we played last year that after the game, the head coach and at least one or two other coaches on that staff didn't say to me, I absolutely love Fifita. Every guy I talked to after the game said that to me. I love that kid. He is awesome in every way.
He had a quote in a recent article with Adam Rittenberg on ESPN where he said, Pete Thamel, where he said, I don't want to be the guy that just stayed. I want to be the guy that won. Mm-hmm. That's got to be something that you feel when he walks in the facility, I'd imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's not in a jerk way. It's not in any kind of way about him. That's the beauty of his leadership, is that it's always about us. It's always about his teammates. It's always about Arizona football. It's he's not that guy. He's glad and proud to lead the charge and to go out there and make the plays and to push the team the way he has to. But it's never about him. And I think that is rare these days in leadership, and it's incredible to be a part of.
You referenced earlier in the spring that he should be in the conversation for the Heisman.
No question.
You don't flinch.
No question. And I think all you do is just turn on the tape and watch it. I mean, in this offseason, I've had a couple of NFL coaches call me, call Daggy, and say, hey, I'm just now watching Fifita. Like, he's brilliant. Yeah, dude. The kid is off the hook good, right? And so that part of it is, I think, you know, and I think the story is that, like, you know, everybody wants to talk about how big he is. Well, he's been that big his whole life, and he's been whooping ass his whole life. Didn't matter if it was Pop Warner, didn't matter if it was Servite High School or at the U of A. Like, that hasn't changed for him. You know what I mean? Like, that hasn't changed. He's been awesome on every level he's ever played on.
I remember talking to Russell Wilson about that, specifically in the Seahawks Super Bowl run. I've seen the offensive line and lanes to throw in like this my whole life. Same deal with Doug Flutie back in our day. And I think that's something that is so hard to imagine for the majority of people. But for a coach, when you're watching end zone copy and you see him slide over, slide up, and deliver a dig route, it seems like just second nature, to your point, and that's who he's always been. Yeah. Where will he take his game to another level with Seth Doege as his offensive coordinator another year?
I think it's cool. They have such a great relationship, and they really trust each other. And I think that's one of those things where, you know, Doege can get on him. Noah doesn't flinch. There's none of that, like, hey, I'm in a first team all conference, dude, you can't coach me anymore. There's none of that with him. He is like, coach me harder. You know what I mean? Like, help me be better. Like, help me make the next jump in my, you know, progression as a player. And so I think as you see him going forward, I think you're going to continue to see him really fine tune that execution and really be able to be really clean with how he handles protections for us, how he delivers the football, where it's going. I still think there's another level for Noah to really take another step and put himself in that picture where everyone's saying he's a slam dunk NFL player.
You've been here, as I referenced, 3 years. Year one, big expectations were on this team, and the team struggled, as you know. Year three, big expectations. You wrote about it in a book I was a part of called 5-Star QB, about expectations. You said three things. You said, number one, know that it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the team, and it requires you to give. Number two, don't give your power away to people you don't know, love, and respect in terms of how you navigate expectations. And three, which I thought was fascinating, you said, enjoy college life. It's going to be one of the greatest times of your life. When you look at those three things and now put them side by side with an expectation, win the Big 12, go to the CFP, maybe have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback or Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback, how do you see this group post spring ball navigating expectations?
I think you can do those things. You know what I mean? I think sometimes for the young people right now, it's all about the football, or it's all about, like, how do I get to the league, or it's, you know, how much money can I get here at the next stop, you know? And I think some of them are missing the joy in the journey. Like, it's college football is special, man. There's a reason America loves it. There's a reason the stories are so big and the games are so big and the television and the media, and, like, so many people are interested. And when you're in the middle of that car wash, like, how do you find a way to enjoy what you're doing? And to me, it's those relationships, it's the people you connect with. And, you know, that, you know, for Noah, just watching him work through that, or this team watching them work through those expectations, I think you have to be aware of it, but just know no one cares what you did last year, right? Like, we joke around here a lot of the time saying, and I say it to the team all the time, is everybody out there, you know, in the community, in the public, all those people kissing your ass, is it making you soft? You know, is it making you soft? Is it making you think like you don't have to put in the work or not attack the process? And so, you know, I think the players and the coaches, we do a good job of reminding each other that no one cares what you did yesterday. How do we move forward with this team? It's a different football team, right? Different pieces. Like, how do we move forward with the group that is here right now? And the only way we know how is to attack the process and to dig into the work.
What is the process here?
Dude, that's a big question. You know, I think the simple thing is just say, what are we doing right now? And I think that's something that gets lost a little bit. And I do think when there's expectations, there's a natural tendency to look off at a goal and say, like, we have to get to this, or we have to do this, or it's a total failure. And I think when you're looking that far down the road, you're like guaranteeing that you won't get where you want to be. And so for us, it's like, how do we keep bringing everything back to this meeting, this drill, this rep, this, you know, period of practice, or this practice? Like, how do we keep making these pieces small so that we can stack moments, stack opportunities to improve, and eventually, you know, build as we go towards training camp or into the off season, you know, coming out of spring now. But I think looking at the future or the college football playoff or whatever it is, I think that's the most dangerous place you can live in, because you're missing what you need to do to have a chance just to have any chance to be in that conversation late November.
One of my favorite parts of our conversations is that you're an elite competitor, right? Walked on, wide out, played at UCLA, and you got a compassionate human side to you. How have you navigated expectations? Like, what is your process to be it yourself for this group?
You know what? Like, I just try to appreciate what everybody says. You know, I think that part of it is tricky. You know what I mean? Because when you're winning, everybody's great and they say a bunch of nice stuff. When you're losing, everybody says crazy stuff. And, you know, so again, am I giving my power away to people that I don't trust, don't love? Right. But the expectation piece is, you know, I feel like my job as the leader is that, like, I have to keep us on track in the process. I can't get lost in the expectations of ourselves or even the outside space. And so how do I keep finding a way to keep us back on track, to move us back? I feel us start to lean one way or the other. How do I help us get back on track, get back in alignment with moving the way we know we have to move to have a chance for the outcomes we want?
One of my favorite parts of this adventure out here in Tucson is being around your better half. No offense.
Yeah,
How
me
has
too.
your
She's
wife,
all right.
How has Courtney helped you, your wife, along this journey that you've been? Like, where has she checked you, showed up for you, picked you up?
Oh, she's been awesome, man. She, when we first started, we were telling the story last night. We went out to dinner with a good friend here in town, and she was telling, we started dating when I was a high school football coach. So she's kind of been through all of it. When I was a graduate assistant, we were getting people's car washed and picking up their dry cleaning or babysitting their kids. Like, that was just all part of it, I think I was, getting paid like $300 a month, and it was, she was my sugar mama because she had a real job. But, I think that part of it, because she's been on the whole journey with me at every step of the way, she's a lots of times the ones that the players have the best relationship with, because she's just mom, I think Noah calls her Queen Bee. I think the team calls her Mama Bee, but she's the one that, even after they're done playing, they'll check in with her, and she'll check in with them, and she remembers everybody's birthday, and she remembers everybody's girlfriends, and she remembers everybody's kids' birthdays. And that part of it's been so fun to see the impact she's had on those relationships with the players. And, even when I took the job, I kind of got whisked away in this golf cart because I had to go do all this HR stuff. And Courtney jumped on the back, and Fifita jumped on the back of the golf cart, and they talked for like a half hour. And then she walks into this HR meeting and she's like, "Hey, Noah Fifita needs to talk to you." And so I didn't even know he was there, because they were in like a 6-passenger golf cart that was full of people on their way back, but that was my intro to Noah, was because of her being the first person that really got to talk to him, in my family. And so she's amazing. She's tough. She's been through it all. She's been through the good. She's been through the bad. She's been through being fired. She's been through being hired. She's been through bad seasons. She's been through great seasons. And so she's just an incredible rock for me, and our children, because so much with this job, you're gone. I'm not as gone as much as a head coach, because I'm not allowed to go recruiting as often as I was when I was an assistant. The rules are different, but she's the absolute rock of our family, and my hero without any question.
Love that. I know somebody who also looked up to you as their hero, because I watched him look up to you. Now I look up to him. Is your son. He's on the team. I mean, last time I saw him, you're at San Jose State, and he's catching balls on the sideline as a 7th grader. And now he looks like he's a grown man playing wide out for you here. Did you ever imagine that moment would come to reality, where you're going to coach your kid at the position you played?
No, I didn't. And it's been super fun. And the cool part about it for me is that, we have 10 guys on the team, 105 guys on the team. But Bobby Wade coaches Scotty. You know what I mean? And I have so much faith in Bobby Wade as a coach and as a teacher and as a person. I couldn't imagine a better person to be mentoring and coaching, my son. But it's not it's also he's not stopping by the office to say hi to dad. You know what I mean? It's not, there's that part of it that's pretty funny. But there'll be a couple times every now and then where Courtney will say, "Hey, have you talked to Scotty?" And I'm like, "No, I mean, we're at practice, but I didn't talk to him." And then if she asks me again, then I call Scotty and I'm like, "Dude, call your mom. Check in with mom." You know what I mean? Because he's our last kid, so all of a sudden we're empty nesters, right? So every now and then, I have to make sure he checks in with mom.
I love that. Well, I'll tell you what, I love our time together, and no offense to you, but your wife was the one that convinced me many years ago to hang out with you for an extra night in San Jose. I didn't get on a plane that I was supposed to get on to go to Los Angeles. So the next day I get on it and I meet my wife. So Courtney, Brennan, I owe you. I think I took Scotty's room that night. So all the things, so many things come from football. Who would have predicted that one, man?
It's such a cool story. I love that story. And I love seeing you be a dad. I get to follow on social media. With our busy lives, I don't get to see you as much, but it's cool for me to see you chasing your kids around the beach and coaching flag football, and it's awesome.
We're having fun. Mama Bear is definitely, she controls, she's the team owner. She's like, bro, you need to score some touchdowns or you're getting fired. All right, last thing before I cut you loose here. I think in college football, and I learned this from being in the Big Ten now the last couple of years and calling games. This year I'll be calling games on NBC. Really fired up to do it. When the Pac-12 changed form, I went out and interviewed at a bunch of different places. And what I learned was that like the front of mind was not necessarily West Coast teams. And now you change this new conference in the Big 12. And I think the lazy take is Big 12, air it out. Everybody's going to throw for 500 yards like it was Texas Tech back in the day with Mike Leach.
Right.
I know that's not the truth of the league. There's a bunch of diversity in scheme and style, but I don't live it like you. I don't call Big 12 games every weekend. So what is it? Like, how would you define this league that you're in, that you are a front runner to win that league this season?
I think the unique thing about this Big 12 league, first of all, there's a ton of good talent and players in this league. Just watch the draft. There's a ton. And so you have to contend for big time football players, like difference makers. You know, like it's like as a coach, when you start watching film of an opponent, like I always tend to go to like, okay, who are the problems? Like who do we have to figure out how to handle? It doesn't matter what position it is, just you start to identify those special guys. But then also the coaching is top notch. Like there's excellent football coaches in here. And the thing about it is the parity in the league makes it daunting, because every week if you don't show up, you can get your ass whooped. And like that's the thing that's I think is so, every week when you play, you're like, wow, okay, we're going here. Oh, they're coming here. Whoa, this is a good group, And so the lack of familiarity with the league coming in our first year, now being in our second year, having a little bit better understanding of what it is. But dude, the venues are fun. Every game is sold out. It's like that part of it is so cool, like where, you go on the road. Like this year we're switching the side of our fans, right? We're moving our sideline to the other side, and we're going to put our opponents on the student section sideline.
Love that.
Yeah, and that came out of a conversation I had with our athletic director, Desiree, at Kansas State, because her and I was pregame, and we're getting warmed up, and we're talking, and the students from Kansas State are just saying all kinds of wrong stuff to me. I mean, they are all over me, like crazy stuff. You know what I mean? I'm like, we need to get our students on the opponent's sideline.
What's the most appropriate thing you can say?
Dude, I can't even say it on this right here. No, I can't even go into it. But it's also a fun part of college football. Everybody wants to play in a packed stadium. Everybody wants to play on national television. Everybody wants to play against good competition. And everybody wants to play against teams that are well coached. And this conference has all that.
Yeah, just from afar, when I watch the Big 12, it reminds me of the old Pac-12. Of every week, it's a tough out, really well coached, and also not given enough regard from the country. I always felt that out west, like, man, I'm calling these games, like you don't realize how talented Arizona and Arizona State is, or whatever the teams are. And I'm curious, like what will shake out this season, and hopefully. I'm a fan of the expansion. I hope that happens, because I think more teams get a shot at the postseason. Amen. Would be great. Let's end on that. Like, what is your thought? And maybe by the time this airs, they'll have it already decided. But what do you think about expansion?
I think it's great, man. I think the more people that have a chance to play because it's so hard, because every game means so much, right? Like it's different than, say, basketball, right? Like where you see some of those like incredible runs in the NCAA tournament, and now somebody's in the Sweet 16 or the Final Four, and you're like, whoa, like they didn't have that kind of season. Like that's impossible in football. It's impossible, because if you lose 2 games, you're probably out of it. You lose 3 games, you're probably, you're for sure out of it. So I think that part of it is so exciting. The more people that have a chance, I think that's going to bring more viewership. It's going to bring different regions of the country excited about watching their local team, in the college football playoff. Like I think that part's so fun. Like the college football playoff has been awesome. Let's get more people in that.
I'm with you there. All right, we could talk for hours.
We'll
just do it again next year. We'll just keep running it back. But a very unique individual in terms of not only elite coach, but you helped me introduce myself to my wife. So I thank you for that. Delta Airlines, big shout out. You should be a sponsor on the show. You're not now, but you made it happen on that airline, man. But on a serious note, congrats on what you built. I know it was a lot of hard work, and it's really fun to watch this team be in position to do everything you dream.
We are a work in progress. That's my Bay Area roots. Everything in the Bay Area, all the startups are all a work in progress, and that's us here. But I think we've got good alignment from our staff and our administration. I think we're moving in the right direction. I'm really excited about it. And if you give me a chance to play football with Noah Fifita, I am all for it.
Amen. Amen. Well, thanks for being all for this. I really appreciate it.
It's awesome.
All right, there it is. Brent Brennan, bear down.
With the Fuel Forward app, the more discounts you stack, the more you save.
Feels good to save. I know, right?
How low can you go?